So I'm at the gate, and it's conveniently located by the Starbucks.
There she is, as fresh as a daisy.
We're Karen and Bo Christensen, a Danish-American couple who met in Germany in 2016. Bo is an airline pilot, and Karen is a freelance advertising creative director. In late 2022, we bought Château de La Tuilerie in Martel, France, and are working to make it a bed and breakfast and wedding destination fit for a queen. Welcome to Queen's Escape.
So I have moved on from chateau painting and sand painting, which is drying, which might be dry actually, to doing some gifts for our neighbors who are coming for our Christmas party. And one of them that I wanted to do is Chateau de Briance, which belongs to one of our friends, Bertrand. And it is so beautiful, and it is an exceptionally old chateau. Off the cuff, I want to say 1400s. Bo knows better than I do, but I think he said 8 generations have lived in this chateau, and it is absolutely stunning inside. And you know, it's so wonderful. They have never moved from here, and so nothing has been taken out. So they have so many old things that from their history, paintings on the wall of their ancestors, and you know, they have their own chapel here, and people have been married and buried and born and died here, and it's absolutely fascinating. So I'm working on an ornament for our friend Bertrand and Karina, and this is where I am so far. Wanted to get the outline in, and then I'll paint it in. And I redid, I drew this and then wiped it out and drew it and wiped it out 5 times because it's a difficult shape actually to get to fit in the space and then still have some sky and earth around it. But I have an outline now that I can really work with. And I took this picture myself when I took the truffle train here in Martel, and it's a beautiful angle to see their property. So I'm going to paint this in today and get that ready for the Christmas party when they come to share it with them. As for our friend's chateau, I am not getting anywhere fast with this. Oh, I've tried and I cannot make it look good. It's just a really complex, not simple, straight on picture reference that I have for this chateau, and it's very difficult for me to put in here. So I'm going to see if this will wipe out, and I'll start again, maybe with a different angle if I can find one, and if it doesn't wipe out, I might just paint over this. Yep, but it's just not going anywhere. All right, you see how this is kind of an overhead view of this chateau. It's like this. I took this picture from above, but here's what I found online. I think that is going to save me a world of pain if I do that instead. So I'm going to give it a try. I have been to the paint store this morning to get a few new tiny paint brushes because mine were all scruffy. So I got those, and so to continue painting on the oyster shells today, and I'll show you the one I finished yesterday. All right, so here's the chateau that painted for a friend and one of our friends, and this is his one side of his chateau with his little pond. He has a waterfall that comes in and fills this pond, and so it used to be a mill here, a working mill. And this picture has the top of this building, which I needed, but then this picture has further to the left that I needed his little porch and some trees right there. And so I was looking at those and painting on that yesterday. I had started it last year, and here in my little box I'm going to keep all of my finished works, and so this is where I ended up. So it's curvy, but you can see the pond down here, and then his chateau with the windows here all lit up, and then the large part here, and some of the trees, and a pretty sky with some pinks and purples and yellows in it. And then I tried to do the reflection of his chateau in the water there, and so later we'll add the gold to the edges and paint the back a bit and put some pearls on and attach with a hot glue gun some twine to make it so it will hang on the tree. So that's one down. Yay. Oops. So back it goes. We'll just keep those in there. And then today I am working on another neighbor's house that is right behind us here, actually. So this is their house. It's the closest house to us, over behind us on the north, southeast, west side. And so I'm going to paint that with their little cliff in the background, and I'm going to use some snowy setting. So I'm sort of just looking at the colors and the snow from this inspiration to use to figure out my colors for the snow here. Yeah, and so they converted an old, I guess it was sort of I don't want to say a warehouse, but it was, I think, perhaps part of our property at one time, and so where they would have done work over there. And they did have a small tilery over there near their property also. But they are just the dearest people. So that's today's project. I didn't really like how my neighbor Christine and Mark's house was looking, and so I went outside and I took a new picture of their place. This is the old one, and I took a new picture, and they've actually since removed some trees and things from in front of this part of their refurbished house. So I think putting this in and removing some of the trees that were here kind of sorted it out a bit. And then I also put back some of the cliff detail and took out some of the white trees that I had on that side, just to make it look a little bit nicer. I like the sky, and I like the snow colors, and I like the lit lights in their home, and I'm happy with that now. Very happy with it.
so I have plenty of oysters to paint. And then I have cleaned oysters for oyster stew tonight. Been decorating for many days, and I'm going to take a little break from decorating and get back to painting my oyster shells that I want to give as gifts. So I have my espresso and my little motivation candle and all of my paint and inspiration and everything around me. So I'm going to get to it. Right, I believe that I am done with my little town of Gluges oyster shell ornaments. Yep. It started with this little one down here, and it's very small, so that's why I had to go out and get some larger ones. But I liked how it turned out, actually, the little one. I think it's just as good as the rest. I really like it. Yeah, it turned out pretty sweet in there. It's funny to look at it through this camera and then look at it, live. The curves, they play a little bit of tricks on you. But I just want it to look like a snowy evening in the town and get an idea of the cliffs and the sunset behind the cliffs back there, and yeah, and have the little lights glowing, even though the lights might almost never glow from some of these windows. Yeah, it's a cozy one too. Yeah, but yeah, very, I think I'm happy with where we are, and so I can move on to the city of Martel tomorrow. Completely forgot to document, but I have been drawing in the little town of Martel today, and I just painted the sky blue, like a little dark blue in the top and a light blue in the bottom. And then tomorrow we'll paint in all the buildings and the landscape and the snow and go from there. rush tonight to try to get more of these Martel shells done. Got a lot to do, and I was really hoping to be finished today, but clearly I'm not. So I'm gonna push. Closing in on being done with these Martel oyster shells. I had a misstep with the bushes and I had to spend a lot of time redoing them. I'm still not sure if I'm happy with them, but I'm happy enough for now to put it aside. Yeah, pretty happy with these. Yeah. So they look so bent when I try to get in there and show them to you. It's so funny. But yeah, I tried to do the houses as they are, but it's quite difficult because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Yeah, I hope our friends. Tonight to put the girls on, and also putting in the little gold thread to hang on the tree. And she's worked so hard to make sure that they show properly when they're hanging, which I think is great. So we're really happy to have all of these actually ready to go after I put a little fixative over them. Yeah. So yeah, happy with those. I am getting ready for our Christmas dinner party with the neighbors, and I have my cake pans out
And I want to do a 3-tier cake, but I'm going ahead and doing the little one too, just in case it works. And so I'm gonna make white cake with white frosting and then have the roses on top.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these nice satiny napkins and we're just gonna go ahead and fold them up. And then once we have them folded up, we can use that as our base for the rest of the process. All right. So I've got it nice and folded, neat and tidy. And then we're gonna take one of each cutlery. And what I think looks good is when you have them crossing one another. Plus we're gonna be tying a ribbon around it anyway. And so at least this will allow it to look good and sort of splayed out without being too uniform together. All right, so we're gonna use some of this pink ribbon. This is a little too long. That'll do. Right. And I've already made a bit of a mistake because the ribbon should go down first. Here we go. All right. And then I'm gonna take this ribbon and tie it around the necks of the cutlery. And I'm not gonna tie it too tight because I also need to tuck some greenery into the ribbon as well. But once we do that, we can tie a nice bow and make sure that the tails are about even. Right, and then we're gonna take some of these branches that I went out and got from outside and we're going to cut them so that way it looks nice. That way it looks nice. You've got a big sort of, you got your point and then you've got it fanned out. It'll look nice on the napkin. Right, and then we're going to take it and we're going to tuck it in here, just barely, so it pops out. That's a nice sort of pop of contrast between the bright pink. It gives it a little bit of a cooler tone and ultimately wraps the whole thing together, I think.
So finally, I'm going to make good use of this beautiful cabinet we bought at the antique store. And I have little gift boxes up here, beautifully wrapped. And then I have our oyster shells painted that we can offer to people as keepsakes from the area. So here we have Gluges, and then here we have Martel. And both of these boxes actually have a shell in them too, but I just haven't put them out yet. And I don't know yet about the price. You know, it feels a little high for a keepsake, but when I think about the hours that go into painting them, it feels really low. But if it were me, I don't know. It just really depends. It just really depends. They take a long time. So yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I'll paint a bunch more, and then once we have more to put in here, maybe I'll drop the price, and then I have the description in both English and French. So work in progress, but yeah, really happy to be able to offer something. And then I hope to do some paintings some shells of the chateau, but also some paintings of the area to be able to offer prints of, just a little something extra for us.